And hi, welcome back to You Heard It From a CFP. My name is Matthew Coyle. Episode 46 of You Heard It From a CFP, this time from my office in downtown Minneapolis as I don the headset. No, I'm not landing planes. I'm just talking about health insurance because that's what today's topic is. It's health insurance and the options between the date of retirement and the Medicare age, which of course in the United States is 65. So let's talk about your options if you choose to retire before the age of 65, bridging that gap between retirement and Medicare. Let's dive in. Okay, so you are tired of the office, you're never going in again, you hate it there, and you want to quit. I salute you. Let's look at your options for health insurance if you're retiring before the age of 65, which many of you are going to choose to do. So if you're in your late 50s or your early 60s and you want a bridge to Medicare, what are your options? You basically have four of them. You have the public marketplace, the private marketplace, COBRA, and a spouse's plan. Let's look at all four of those in brief right now. All right, let's start with the ACA, or public marketplaces as they're known. ACA stands for Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare if you want to term it that. They're all interchangeable. But the ACA basically created public marketplaces for the purpose of getting people insurance prior to the age of 65 who may have pre-existing conditions or may not want to go through the private marketplace for whatever reason. I will warn you here, the prices can vary quite a bit. You may want to do some shopping on the private marketplace or even look at which your previous group plan through your employer may be able to offer you on an individual basis before you commit to anything through the ACA. But the public exchange is an option for you. Do take a look at it. They are available across state lines. There's no pre-existing conditions, and depending on income, there can be subsidies available for you to purchase these plans. So do, first and foremost, number one, take a look at the public marketplaces. Okay, next, the private insurance exchanges, or what they refer to as off-exchange, because it's not the public exchange. In a private insurance contract, you will go through underwriting. You will be subject potentially to pre-existing condition restrictions and requirements. It may be a better deal for you, assuming you qualify, if you're healthy, if you had no pre-existing conditions, if you've taken care of yourself, or maybe you're just been a little more fortunate, you haven't had any health issues. Then the private marketplace is probably a better place for you to go if you can get good coverage, spend some extra time, work through an agent, work through a broker, or even work through the company that used to provide you your group plan at work, assuming you had that. Not everybody does, but assuming you had that, start there and ask for their coverage requirements and coverage costs through your previous employer's provider. Now, it will be more expensive, obviously, if your employer was paying for your insurance plan or most of it, then you will be asked to shoulder some more of the cost, and your financial planner can work that into their plans when you decide to retire 3, 4 years, 5 years before Medicare, whatever it may be. So look at the private exchange first if you're healthy. Go to the public exchange first if you may have some pre-existing conditions or may be looking for tax subsidies for purchasing those products. But private exchanges, private markets will be underwriting requirements, but potentially be a little bit better deal if you are a healthy person. All right, next up is COBRA, C-O-B-R-A, which stands for Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1985. Boy, I bet the guy who thought that up was a blast at a party, right? So this is basically coverage that you can get after leaving your job, retiring from your job, or quitting your job. You can stay on COBRA and have your current healthcare coverage for up to 18 months. Now, you will pay full freight if you do that. It can be very expensive to be on COBRA, so I don't advise people be on it for very long. But you can get continuation of coverage, and you are legally allowed to continue on your coverage for up to 18 months. If you're younger and you're a dependent, you can actually be on it for 36 months, which is quite a long time to pay that, but it can be done. And you have 45 days to sign up for it once you quit or retire. So you can remain on your previous employer's insurance coverage. However, it is more expensive. Probably not the first place I would look, but it is available, especially if you have anything like pre-existing condition or other factors that may cause you to not want to shop around for insurance, especially if it's relatively short. Perhaps you retire at the age of 63 and a half or 64 and you only have to get to 65 for Medicare. Well, then COBRA might make sense for you if it's not too expensive. So do look at COBRA if it's a very, very short period of time between your retirement and Medicare. Otherwise, maybe look at the public or private markets. And finally, let's talk about your spouse's plan and a strategic retirement, as I call it. I have many clients who choose to work till the age of 65. At least one spouse does, so that they can purely maintain coverage for medical reasons. Listen, it's never a bad plan if you can stand working till Medicare age, so 65, and one spouse has access to a plan and one does not, it makes a lot of sense for one spouse to continue to work. You can save yourself a lot of money in doing that. Your planner can work that into their plan, their financial plan for you, based on the retirement age at which you draw. So do consider working till age 65 for the purposes of healthcare if you can stand your job. The extra income will be nice, and strategically it does work out well for a lot of people just to stay on their spouse's plan. I'll be entirely honest with you as much as I can that there just isn't a great option. Oftentimes the public markets can be expensive and they don't cover everything. They're a little bit stripped down. The private exchanges, of course, or private market can be a little bit restrictive in their covenants and their pre-existing conditions, so you may not get the coverage you want or be able to afford. COBRA can be very expensive, so you can't stay on it a long time. There's not always a great option, so sometimes staying on your spouse's plan is just the best thing to do if you can swing it, and that's what I would advise anybody to do when it comes right down to it, until we have a better option, which we typically so far have not had. So I'm going to put a picture up at the end of this video, and I'll just show you a kind of a grid as to cost expectations and a little summary of all the 4 options I've just discussed. Comes from Fidelity. It's kind of a nice little grid. You can pause the video and take a look at it. Other than that, a note about Medicare. If you are age 62 and you decide to retire early at age 62, you will not automatically be signed up for Medicare. I do get that question periodically, so do not assume you're going to be signed up. You have to sign up for Medicare separately. We'll do a Medicare video in the future, but for today, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Your most valuable asset is, of course, your time, so do remember that, and I thank you again for watching these videos. Best to your family, best to you. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.